Hello, Paul Robinson from bushcraftcanada.com, and I'm just going to do a quick video today just on the differences in the handles between the Fallkniven F1 knives. Since the F1 Pro came out, which is this one here, I had a lot of emails from people saying how does it differ from the standard F1. You know, is it different width, is it different length, this kind of thing. So I thought I'd do a quick video and I'll just show you the three different handles that the F1 comes in. These three handles cover really all the models. There's the F1 Pro, the standard F1 and the F13G GM. There's only one model of the F1 Pro. The standard F1 is the same handle for the standard F1, the black version, the 3G version and the new laminate cobalt version. All the same handle, identical. The only other different F1 handle is the 3G GM, the handmade knife. So the big differences between the F1 Pro and the F1, in terms of length, they're virtually identical. The F1 Pro obviously has that stainless steel finger guard, which is slightly different. But in terms of width, they're very, very similar. Hopefully you can just see that there. So the actual width of the handles is very similar, if not identical. There is, however, a subtle difference in the depth of the handle, which you might be able to see there. The F1 Pro is slightly deeper, so it is slightly there is slightly more handle. The top to bottom depth is greater than the standard F1, and also it's probably not quite as sculpted, particularly at the end here. And again, there's a little bit more depth. So when you're holding it, it does feel like a slightly larger handle. The standard F1, you compare that with the F1 3G, and you'll see the F1 3G is even more contoured actually. But in terms of depth, again, they are very similar. It's in terms of the width of the handle, and in terms of depth, actually, the F1, the standard F1, and the F1 3G are again very, very similar. You might say, you know, this area here is probably a little bit deeper on the F1 3G, but they're very close. So really the only difference between these three knives is that there's subtle differences in the sculpturing. Probably the F1 3G GM here has a bit more of a pronounced belly in terms of its width here. But really they're very similar. The only real difference between them is in the F1 Pro, like I say, has a little bit more depth in the handle. So you know, the handle is very slightly bigger on those, but no wider. Anyway, I hope that gives you a little bit of information there, and I'll perhaps do a comparison between the A1 Pros and the standard A1, and the S1 Pro and the S1. But I just thought I'd do a quick video on the F1 because we do get a lot of questions about it, and just to give you a quick comparison between the three knives, and that should cover, well, it does cover all the different handle shapes you can get in the F1. But you know, if you've got any questions, or you want to see a particular comparison or something like that between different knives, just give me an email, paul@bushcraftcanada.com, and I'll throw up a quick video.